folks, I'm Ben Starr. Welcome back to my messy kitchen, and today my dear friends Chip and Jenni Ferris are here with me to do some holiday cocktailing and holiday baking. And apparently Chip is an expert baker and bakes things. So nailed it. So we are making him do all of the work today, and Jenni and I are just sitting back and watching and enjoying ourselves at the entertainment. So this recipe is my favorite holiday cookie, molasses ginger spice cookies. And I perfected this recipe. They're crispy and chewy at the same time. We've got 3 different types of ginger in there.
Which Spice Girl was that?
Definitely, this is definitely, is it Angry Spice?
It's ginger.
Ginger Spice.
Ginger.
Oh, that's duh! Of course it's ginger spice.
There's no Angry Spice sporty.
That shows you exactly how gay I am. I
don't know. I only know 3 of them.
Scary Spice.
Scary!
Okay.
Holiday Spice.
Let's get started. All right, so we begin this cookie process with a process called creaming. Have you ever creamed before?
Well...
Okay, let's just go right on into it. This is basically the process
I am an adult.
This is just basically the process of combining sugar and butter and beating it until they become fully whipped, and we've incorporated a lot of air. So we're going to start with
that's
2.
What you have to call that?
That's what we call creaming.
Let's see.
This is harder than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to start with 2 sticks of softened butter. So if you want to add those, you can just...
You need to take that out.
Oh, well, why don't you...
What is this? This is magic.
This is...
That's a creaming tool.
In fact, it is a creaming tool. This is an aftermarket attachment for the KitchenAid that scrapes the bowl as you whip, and it works way better than the ones that have this.
I hate that solid
Yeah. You never have to scrape the sides with a spatula. This is the side swipe. The beater blade is the lame one.
Yeah, I have a beater blade.
No beater blades.
With mine.
Side swipe attachment for the KitchenAid. Just make sure you get the one that's for the right size bowl that you have. All right. Next. Oh, by the way, quick tip on softened butter. How many times have you tried to start baking cookies and forgotten that you needed to soften your butter?
0.
Okay. Well, for those of us that bake a lot of cookies, it happens all the time.
It does.
Then you try to use your microwave, but half the butter gets melted and
That's
it's just a mess. So this is your quick tip for softening butter when you need to soften it in a hurry.
Okay.
Get a bowl, fill it with 80-degree water. Use your kitchen thermometer. If you don't have a kitchen thermometer, shame on you, get one. 80-degree water. You can drop 2 cold sticks of butter from the fridge in there, and they will be softened in 5 to 8 minutes.
Well, that's very informative.
Not as quick as the microwave, but much more efficient. You won't get any melting, and they'll be perfectly softened in less than 10 minutes. All right, now we need brown sugar, 5.7 ounces. I use dark brown sugar because it's got more flavor, but light brown sugar will also work. 5.7 ounces if you're measuring this at home. That's 3/4 of a cup of firmly packed brown sugar. But using a scale is so much easier than trying to measure and press down, especially when it comes to brown sugar. So, get yourself a scale.
5.7, correct?
5.7. That extra gong is important for the flavor development. All right, so now we're going to put the bowl, nest it onto the mixer.
No.
You see these little flanges? They hitch over those little nipples.
Them now.
And then push it back, push it down, and it will lock itself in place. Well, he's not very good at this, is he? There you go.
What's your first clue?
All right. Now the side swipe goes in.
Nope.
Can you kind of see how that little nipple on the side? There's a lot of nipples to work with. Excellent.
Other way.
Now, no, you did it right. You did it right. Now raise the bowl using the lever there. Yep. Oh. Okay, now let's turn it on about 3/4. That's on this side, sorry. About 3/4 of the way up. After creaming for 3 or 4 minutes, it's light and fluffy like this. It's ready for the next addition. Now, I typically mix my dry ingredients together while this is creaming, but that was too loud for us to hear, so we're going to mix the dry ingredients now. All right, dry ingredients, 11.4 ounces of flour. If you're measuring at home by volume, that's 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour.
So 12.2 is more than 11.4.
12.2 is more than 11.4.
Okay.
Don't you have a degree in mathematics?
No. East Asian Studies.
Really?
Yes. Sure that.
Yes, really. Emphasis on China.
The way
When he graduated.
Oh, well, you work for a global company, so I guess that makes sense. Half a teaspoon of kosher salt.
Right.
If you're measuring this at home using table salt, you're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon.
This is a teaspoon.
That is a teaspoon, so half of that.
We don't want salty cookies.
Okay, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda.
Okay.
Not baking powder. They are not interchangeable.
They are not.
Now it is time for our spices. So these are predominantly ginger cookies, so we're going to use a whole tablespoon of ground ginger. Good. 3 ounces of crystallized or candied ginger. You can just dump it right in. Now, if you try the whole thing, it's already weighed. Now, the thing about crystallized or candied ginger is if you go to Whole Foods, it will take one of your entire paychecks to get that much crystallized ginger. If you go to Winco or even Central Market, you can get crystallized ginger for way cheaper, almost at the same price that regular fresh ginger is by the pound.
Brought to you by Winco.
And 2 teaspoons of cinnamon.
Alrighty.
Or just a scant tablespoon.
Just take
1 teaspoon of cardamom, one of my very favorite flavors to use with warm spices.
best.
And then 1/2 teaspoon each of clove and nutmeg.
And then
we're
scrape
going
off
to grate some of that
dermis.
fresh nutmeg.
Nice. Awesome. Is this the largest one you could find?
No, I have larger nuts, but I specifically selected a small nut because I don't think you can handle the larger nuts.
All of that was so wrong.
You walked right into that, didn't you?
That's sort of how I roll.
And again, you can use pre-ground nutmeg, but I just love the aroma of freshly grated nutmeg, and I love to torture Chip.
Yeah, so
There you
once
go.
the
That's
entertainment's
that's
over,
the
let me
most
know when I've scraped enough.
That's probably good. And then the secret surprise ingredient,
Fingers.
black pepper, freshly ground black pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon equivalent. That's maybe 6 or 8 turns. Black pepper actually has a surprisingly fruity aroma to it, and it really complements these cookies quite well. All right, so get that stirred around there with your fingers. We can move it off of the scale. All right, we have a few more liquid ingredients to incorporate before we put our dry ingredients in. The first ingredient will be a cracked egg.
Okay.
Excellent.
Mixed.
And 6 ounces of molasses. That's about 1/2 cup if you're volume measuring at home. 2 teaspoons of freshly grated ginger, and it'll grate better perpendicular, which is across the grain like that, Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. You
Okay.
know what perpendicular means. I thought you were good at math.
All right.
And then about 1 teaspoon's worth of vanilla. And, well, our measuring cups are dirty, so just estimate.
Oh, God. Oh.
That seems
Go
like
ahead.
a bad idea.
There we go. Excellent. All right, so let's get that back onto the mixer and get that going. Very good. We'll let that go for just a little bit.
Lowest.
Now we're going to incorporate the dry ingredients on the lowest setting, and we're going to mix just until it's all disappeared, right?
Yep.
So you can kind of scrape it in there to the...
With your hands.
If you don't have one of these self-scraping paddle attachments, you'll just need to stop every now and then and scrape the sides of the bowl with your spatula. Very nice. So, dry ingredients got incorporated. There's still a tiny little bit of flour here and there. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and wash your hands. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the formation of the cookies because it requires a little bit of skill, but then I'm going to let you do it.
Wonderful.
Before I do it, I want to talk about your baking sheet here. I've lined it with a little piece of parchment. If you don't know, you can buy these pre-cut sheets of parchment that are already sized, and it's way more convenient than having the big rolls that you have to tear,
They're
because they
magic.
never tear all the way.
They don't, they're
so
magic.
these are wonderful things here. If you are going to be baking these cookies straight into the oven, you're going to space them out. You can do about 12 cookies on one baking sheet. But what I like to do is form all of the cookies for the entire batch onto one baking sheet, put it in the freezer and freeze it, and then have bags of cookies. That way I can bake 4 or 6 or a dozen at a time
Nice.
without having to bake them all at the same time, right? Because fresh cookies are much more delicious than
Yeah.
cookies that have been sitting around for 3 or 4 days. So I really like this method. That way you've always got cookies on demand. And in that case, you can fill the entire sheet. But because we're going to bake them, we're going to do 12 cookies on this sheet. So what you're going to do again, if you have one of these smaller ice cream scoops, this is the perfect thing for portioning out your cookies. They'll all be the same size. If not, you can use 2 teaspoons. But you're going to get that full and kind of raked off like that. Scoop it right into a bowl of sugar. And you can use any type of sugar. You can use the coarse raw sugar or the fine sugar like this. You can use sanding sugar, which they sell in the wedding section of the arts and crafts stores. You just want to handle it gently so that the cookie batter doesn't get all over your hands, right? If you handle it too rough, you'll start to get it on your hands. So we're going to do 3 in a row and do 4 rows of that. So go ahead and take it away.
You go, Chip.
You want to rake it off evenly, yeah? Good. Excellent. The coarser textured sugars will give you more of a crunch in your cookies. The finer textured sugars will give a nice, delicate crunch. I didn't even need to demonstrate that.
You didn't. He
genius
is a
at it.
pro. I don't know where he learned it.
He learned it from me.
Of
That is
course he
correct.
did.
He's just a quick learner.
Not his first
Give me the credit I deserve.
It's not his first ginger cookie.
One of the nice things that I do like about baking them from the frozen state is that they don't tend to spread as far and they tend to be a little bit taller. So I actually really do prefer freezing them and then baking them on demand.
Okay.
Very well done. The oven is preheated to 350 degrees. We're going to put it on the center rack. We're going to bake it 5 minutes. And we're going to rotate it for even baking and bake it 5 more minutes.
Okay.
If you're baking the frozen version, 350 degrees, 6 minutes, rotate 6 minutes.
Got it.
Okay,
Gotcha.
here we go. All right, cookies are just out of the oven. They'll look a little bit dry around the outside, but still just a bit moist on the inside. That's perfectly normal and good. This one though,
That's a sad
That was
excuse.
yours.
oh, you're blaming that one on me?
Yes, because I poured
That
much
one
heavier than
is
you.
yours. That one is yours because it was, you flipped it, right?
I think y'all don't really know what I'm talking about. All right, again with these, you want to set them on a surface that's okay for your hot pan. Let them sit for about 3 minutes. And then if you can, use a spatula to pull them off onto a cookie sheet. They can get a little bit dry if you leave them on here the full time to cool. If you're going to use the same baking sheet to bake another round of cookies, let it cool fully before you put the next batch of cookies in the oven so that they don't overbake. We're going to need to give these a few minutes before we can taste them, but I promise you they're going to be delicious.
And especially that one. That one's going to be
Which I'm
best.
confident was yours. That's the last one that you put on there.
It is not.
Time to taste.
Yes.
I usually like to cool them a little bit more fully so they're not quite as soft, but there's nothing wrong with a soft warm cookie. I'm going to make you eat that really ugly one that you baked.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I should have to suffer through this incredibly horrifically
Oh my
prepared.
word.
I really baked it. I'm not going to say that on camera.
So delicious.
You know what?
I thought you didn't eat sweets.
I eat these.
Size and shape doesn't matter. This is delicious.
Isn't that a good cookie?
Amazing.
That is the
Thank
best
you.
cookie.
I want to ask you an honest question.
Yes, sir.
Why the heck would anybody eat a sugar cookie when you can eat this?
Yes.
When you're looking for a holiday cookie, this is the recipe to use.